Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Shed Geek Podcast, and this is fun. George, I don't know what weather looks like there in Texas, but we've got some rain here moving in today, and it would have been so awesome to do this in person, man. But this is the second time we get to talk to you, and I'm just so excited about today. Do you just want to sort of introduce yourself, your company, maybe a little bit about what you do to the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is George Converse, and by the way, it's like 37 degrees here, so it's actually a little chilly over here, believe it
Nice.
or not.
Man, that's crazy. In
Norm.
Austin, it's like colder than it is here. That's wild.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. But yeah, doing awesome. Really appreciate you having me on the show today. Super excited to just bring a ton of value to the audience today. So my name is George Converse. I'm the head of enterprise for RealWork Labs. And over the past 2 years, we've been working with home service businesses, roughly about 1,000 altogether. We're specifically going to kind of zone in on the shed industry space because we're just getting really crazy results for our clients within that space right now. And myself personally, I've been consulting and marketing for the past 24 years of my life. So super passionate working with small, medium, large size businesses, just assisting them to scale their operations, efficiencies within their marketing budgets, as well as just strategizing, marketing. I'm just super passionate, love helping businesses succeed with what they're doing.
Man, that's awesome. So, most people don't wake up and just find themselves in the shed space unless they're sort of born into it, or they maybe find it through a peculiar route. What's sort of your journey there to knowing the shed industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of stumbled into it. So with what we're doing specifically in the home service business, so we're working with all the, typical ones you'd think of. So the plumbers, the solar companies, roofing companies, all that kind of good stuff. And somebody, which is Hinton Buildings, reached out to us, actually. They saw what we were doing and all this kind of good stuff. And so we had some conversations about what they were doing and how they were doing it out there. Got them plugged in, and the results have just been astronomical. In my opinion, just kind of witnessing their growth and what they've done. And it's really just a big part of this is just the stage that's been set recently through Google over the past year and a half with the schema updates with Google. Most business owners, and I would just ask yourself, for everybody listening right now, if you're a business owner in the shed space, are you familiar with the whole schema update of what Google's doing? Are you familiar with the fact that you can actually start dropping pins? Because if you're not, it's literally the most disruptive thing that's happened in your industry as far as bringing on new customers who are in your markets looking for sheds today. That's ever happened in the past 20 plus years that Google's been around. It's just a massive opportunity.
No, that's great. So yeah, let's dive into that. Tell me a little bit about schema, like what that is and why it matters and why some of the restraints have been like uplifted or so to speak, or you got, it's they're just released so that people can go out and reach more customers now, basically, right?
Yeah, essentially. So, I mean, this has been something that happened. It's not brand new. It happened a year and a half ago, but ideally what happened was this. So when people do a search, and we'll just even do a search on Google real quick. So let's just
Okay.
say, as an example, shed contractor. So Google knows it's a service we're looking to be done in our house here. And we'll just search in my client's backyard real quick. So let's go Dunn, North Carolina. So when somebody's doing a search like this, here's the thing. There's three different areas that you can participate in Google. There's the advertising section, you got the Google guarantees, you got the PPC, there's even ads in the map section. We can wrap those all up together, and only about 8 to 10% of people are really clicking through that section. So 8 to 10% of Google's traffic, that's still a lot, but it's not the majority of Google's traffic and where all those jobs are going, and it's pay to play. But once people get past the ad section, you're always going to have the map section of Google. And this is where we want to.
Can I interrupt you real quick there? I wrote something down, and I think it really surprised me on our previous call. But I feel like it's something that really needs to be addressed. Only 8% click through the actual PPCs, right? The pay-per-clicks.
Yep.
So there's a lot of people who throw advertising dollars, through Google ads, right? Towards
100%.
towards trying to get to the top in SEO, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's providing good organic SEO. And there's even more we can address on that. But 8%, I think that's a pretty stellar number.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big part to really realize in this, it's not that doing PPC advertising is a bad thing. I mean, obviously, you can spend some money, you can instantly turn on the faucet, it can be a good thing. But the reality of it is it's not the majority. So that's the first thing just to realize. So the majority of the jobs and customers that you want in your market, it's not in the advertising section. That's kind of the first thing to realize. And then I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for 24 years. So back 24 years ago, when Google just started PPC, that's where I started my career. We could literally throw a couple $100 in the game for our clients and scale those campaigns to the moon. Fast forward 24 years now, it's I don't want to call it oversaturated, but everybody knows about these large Goliath companies like Angie's List and Home Advisor. They're spending millions of dollars per month in that section, and it's pay to play. So you're getting a much smaller slice of that 8% pie these days, and you're just paying a premium for it. Again, it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just kind of realizing where you can participate and what that's really going to mean for your business. We focus everything we're doing on the map section of Google. And the reason we've done that as a company is we're not a marketing company, we're not an advertising company, and we're not an SEO company. Those are all great companies to work with. But with what we do, instead of you hiring us, hoping that we're going to do our job and give you the results that we're promising, we've just built out an epic tool that works 100% of the time. So when you use our tool, it's going to drop a pin in your market. It's going to verify that with Google. It's going to send that information and data to your website on a widget to represent for conversion purposes. And I'll show you that in a moment. So if you use it, works 100% of the time with what it's going to do. The more pins you drop, the more relevant you're going to become in Google's eyes to show up more and get more presence in that map section. But you actually can get your own results and control your results, which is the cool part about this.
And that's obviously, I mean, Google's where you want to be. It's the, it's the highest ranking search engine, and I think followed up by YouTube, which surprises a lot of people. And probably when you got in, there were so many other, I don't know what, Ask Jeeves, Bing. I mean, Bing's still around. I mean, DuckDuckGo's around now. There's so many different search engines now, but I mean, Google really, I don't want to say controls the information, but they harvest the most information.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places where you can get business from, but if you could do one thing well, it would be Google. If you're going to choose one platform to do something well in, where the majority of the jobs you want are, it's on Google. And then once we get to Google, it's just understanding, well, once you're on Google, where's the best place to participate? And if there was, again, one place to participate, it's really the map section, especially today. A year and a half ago, it would have been a different answer, and I would have told you the organic section of Google opposed to the maps. And the reason being is a year and a half ago, before Schema, the only way to really increase your results in the map section was literally to open additional physical brick and mortar locations so you could legitimately have more Google My Business pages, because essentially how Google has worked this section for the past 20 years is for every legitimate address that you register with Google, they're going to give you a little bit of business in the map section when people are physically closest to your location. So if we were discussing this for gas stations, and this was the gas station podcast that we were on today, then
stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Coming next. I love it. But if it was that, I mean, again, if somebody's doing a search for a gas station, it's pretty thoughtful that they're going to drive to that gas station. They want a gas station that's close. But when we're discussing sheds, sure, some of your customers are going to come in, they're going to check out the sheds and all that kind of good stuff. But it's really the thought for home service businesses in general. 9 out of 10 home service businesses, if we put them all together, the customer is not always going to come into the business. The business is going to go to the customer's home is typically how that's done. So this really benefits the home service industry as a whole, but specifically the shed, because when people are doing searches right now, and I would just challenge everybody who's listening to this right now, if you can, and if you're in front of a computer, pop open Google right now and do a search in your area where you're at. Just type in shed contractor and type in the city and state that you're in, or you don't even have to type that in if you're there at your office location or business location. And then look at the search results in the maps section of Google. And the question is, do you show there or not? Now, because you're physically close to your location, there's a good chance you should show in there because you're physically close. If you're not showing, you got a bigger problem, then you definitely need to talk to me. Definitely give me a call. But the other challenge I would say is, regardless of the result that you guys get out there when you're doing this search, do another search identical, but just switch the city for a surrounding city around you, and pick the one that's the biggest, it's the best, it's where you think the most customers would come from, and then do that search. 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10 times, when you do that search or search any surrounding cities in the map section, you're just not going to show there currently today, unless you have an office there or a business address, or unless you're dropping pins. That's kind of the new wave here, is for you to be able to drop those pins in those exterior markets.
Gotcha.
Consider Summit Portable Buildings of Farmington and Poplar Bluff, Missouri for your storage needs.
Are you tired of having to leave the comfort of your property to gather your things from the storage unit where you pay never-ending rental fees? Would you like to rent something that leads to a path to ownership? Make your rent count with a Summit Portable Building.
With a Summit Portable Building, the process to own a building is simple. Our sales, manufacturing, and delivery staff are here to answer your questions, build, and deliver the shed you want the way you want it.
From the moment you step onto the sales lot, our sales staff will meet you with a smile, a friendly attitude, and a no-pressure sales approach. Our builders will cut no corners and take the time to build the shed the way you want it to be built, the old-fashioned way. Our delivery staff will ensure promptness and efficiency, using proven delivery processes that ensure a level building safe for your goods.
Summit Portable Buildings offers a variety of building styles, sizes, and colors made from the finest materials available. We also keep a variety of shed accessories available to order to help organize your shed. From the moment you step onto the lot to the moment we build and deliver your shed, you can count on Summit Portable Buildings to get the job done right.
Summit Portable Buildings.
Built the old-fashioned way.
Did you like the ad that you just watched featuring Summit Portable Buildings? That was a proud creation from the team here at the Shed Geek Podcast. If you would like high-quality videos that make your shed company stand out, contact the Shed Geek today for pricing and availability. Yeah, man, all that's certainly good information. And then I'll let you go ahead and continue, and I'm sure you'll probably address sort of like the organic section and how, you know, how important that is, what kind of eyeballs are actually seeing that, why that matters.
Yep.
I'll let you take it, man. Take the wheel. Keep going. I feel like
like
a student right now. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Love it. Love it. So we'll kind of hop back in. So kind of looking at the screen, we did a search result on Google. We searched shed contractor, Dunn, North Carolina. That's the city that my client's out of, Hinton Buildings. And so again, we talked about the advertising section. Now we're talking about the map section here. Again, there's up to 73% of people that are going to click through that map section on the front page. So the majority of Google's traffic, so the majority of the clients that you want, they're clicking through and choosing one of these three people, because the majority of people, they're just not going to click the second, third page when they're looking for that shed for their home, for their business. They're going to choose one of these three people. So the trick is to be one of these three people, but not just for your city, but for all of these different surrounding cities that you serve. You really want to be able to tap into all of those. Now, when people bypass the map section, they're going to come to the organic section here. And so once they get down here, this represents close to up to 19% of Google's traffic. So again, it's still a pretty solid amount of traffic, but it's still not the majority. And it's really just human psychology. I mean, it's pretty easy to understand why these numbers are what they are, because when we break down the psychology of what's happening here, if I'm a consumer, most consumers know what the ads are. It's clearly displayed. It's an ad. So they know, hey, these aren't necessarily the best companies. They're just the ones who paid the most money to get that positioning. So unless there's some fancy ad copy to hook them in, they're not clicking, they're bypassing it. Now, once they get to the map section of Google, we're all programmed about sports and competition, about being first, second, third place. And Google intentionally structured it this way. So to a consumer, most consumers, when they see it laid out this way, they think Google is telling them these are the top three shed companies to go through. That's not necessarily always the reality, because the reality is more about the distance. How far are these businesses away from you? And newly with the schema update, how many pins have these businesses dropped? With the new reality through schema, it actually is a more accurate depiction once more businesses are taking advantage of this, of who the top three are, because now you have businesses proving why they're the best, because they're dropping all these pins, they're showing all this content of the great sheds that they're doing out there.
By the way,
But when we
I've allowed for screen sharing, so I don't know if you want to share it, but you're welcome to. And
Oh, yeah. Let me go ahead. I apologize. I thought we were screen sharing this whole time. Let me
You're
go
good.
ahead and do that real quick. I'm glad you mentioned that to me, though. Let's see here. That's a good one.
I just feel like everybody, maybe, especially if they're watching on YouTube as opposed to listening to this just on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or something, if they can actually go in and see it in real time. There we go. I think
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So let's just do this again. Let's just even start this off fresh here. So we're just here on Google. We'll go ahead and do again. Shed contractor. All right, we'll go done, North Carolina. And so again, we were just talking about the ad section we already discussed. We talked about the map section. We talked about the organic section. And again, we were just kind of tapping into the psychology of this. Again, most people assume these are the top 3 businesses. They know those are ads. When they get down to the organic section, I don't want to call us all lazy these days, but we're all convenience driven if we're being honest with ourselves.
Sure.
We got reviews and all these different things, Amazon and Facebook, all these things that make our life more easy to make decisions. And so when people get down to the organic section, again, when we're looking at this, it's just too much copy for most humans these days to really digest all of that, compared to if they just see this information here easily displayed. You can see how long the business has been in business for, typically, how many reviews they have. They're already featured as the top 3. So it's enough information for people to make quick, fast decisions, which is what people want, to choose one of these. That's just kind of the psychology why people are doing this. Now, when we look at this, this is my client showing up here in the first position. Now, again, this is like a softball throw here. It's an easy one for him to show. He was shown here before working with us, but he wasn't showing for any of the exterior cities prior to working with us, because he didn't have locations in all these different surrounding cities, and he wasn't dropping pins yet. And this is his newest location. So I wanted to use this as an example because, to me, again, it blows me away. It's literally only been, I think, just short. It hasn't even been 2 months. He started this location October 19th. So we're just short of 2 months of him dropping pins in this market for this new location. And he's already populating and showing in all these searches. So if we search here, like Linden is one of the surrounding cities. You can see my client showing up here in 3rd place. Now, again, unlike sports, it doesn't really matter if you're in 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place, because if you're not showing, there's just no way for you to get that business. Nobody's calling you at that point, at least not the majority of people, because that's where they're looking. But if you are showing, it's going to really be a fact that in a lot of cases, you're going to get shopped and bid for for this job and or as a customer, just because you're showing, regardless of any of the other information, because they think you're one of the top 3. Now, if you're crushing it on reviews, you're going to get a lot more of the business. We can help you with the review piece as well, too. This is a new location. We're just kind of getting going for him. And then also years in business can play a big role. So that's kind of a big mistake, too. Just a tip for all your clients out there, or not clients, but everybody listening right now out there, for business owners, on your Google My Business page. This is a simple thing all of you could do right now that can literally impact your business in such a huge way. I see this so many times when I'm speaking to new clients that they forget to put years in business. Now, if you just started the location like 2 months ago, like my client, for this new location, you might not want to display that yet. You might want to wait till it's at least 1 year, 2, 3 years or more. But I've seen so many cases where businesses have been in business for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and they're not displaying it. And it's just such a huge way to attract a lot more business, and it's an easy fix. We can fix it for you as well, too. But in any case, I'll just do a couple more searches, and then I won't bore your audience too long doing this, but I think they'll kind of get the point here. Let's go Benson, North Carolina here. Again, my client's showing down here in 3rd place, and I'll just do one more search here for you, and then kind of break this down a little more for you, what's happening here and how this happened in the first place. This one, he's even showing up in the first page placement here for you. Now, in doing these searches, here's kind of the deal. I mean, I could literally sit here and just rattle off city after city after city and type it into the search of where I personally know my clients are dropping these pins, and it's been 2-3 months or longer. Our clients, we have about 1,000 clients at this point, and on average with our clients, even just dropping 2 pins per day, which it takes less than 25 seconds to drop a pin. I can show your audience how to do that as well, too. 5 days a week, dropping 2 pins a day. typically on average within 2-3 months, our clients are getting themselves in that front page placement. That's kind of the cool part here too. We just built the tool out. We invested $6.5 million to build out this software and this technology to do what it's doing. If you use it, it works. The more you use it, the bigger the results can be for each and every business that's doing this. And the biggest part is again, I'm pretty sure for each person listening, if they asked all their competitors in their market, have you heard of schema? Do you know that you could drop pins? And don't do this because you don't want to let all your competitors know what's going on yet. But if they did, most people don't know this is even something that they can do. So it just really creates a nice runway, 6 to 12 months, maybe even a 2-year runway for the people who are listening, who do take advantage and do start dropping these pins, to really lay some nice groundwork to really capture the majority of their market share and really tap into the largest amount of jobs and customers in their market, which is in the map section of Google. Now, I'll kind of go from here and I'll show you how to drop a pin here. Any thoughts or questions on your side, Shannon, before I kind of move on from the search, though?
Hello from the Shed Geek. Let's take a walk through My Shed 3D. With My Shed 3D, your company can simply add a 3D builder button to its website. Once the customer clicks onto the 3D builder button, they will enter some basic information to get started. Remember, this information is captured in your Leads tab, whether or not the customer designs a building. This is very valuable information that turns a cold call into a warm lead. Next, they begin the design of their shed by selecting a primary use, a style, and a size that best fits their need. My Shed 3D has multiple styles that are available and consistent with traditional and barn styles within the shed industry. However, if you offer a customized or non-traditional style, My Shed Solutions can build that design for future use. We can also save on some design features that make it easy to adjust without a major rebuild or added fees for design changes. For instance, want to offer a steeper roof pitch? Just navigate to the Settings tab. Then click the Building Models. Click Edit Building and just enter the new roof center height, and the design changes will reflect on this style option. This will save you thousands versus traditional design changes that need to build a whole new style to match your design. From here, simply choose the style, siding, and color. Then choose a trim and roofing style and color. Next, let's add a door. That was goofy. Next, let's add a door. It is required to add a door to move forward with the design, as at least one ingress-egress option is necessary. Then add some design changes for personalization. Maybe some windows, or a porch, or some interior shelving. Next, just click Save Design and the customer will receive an automated text with all the features of the design to the email address entered at the beginning. From here, they can edit the design, view the details of the design, pay now to order the shed, or click Rent to Own to complete the necessary steps to purchase a shed they designed with My Shed 3D. The design enters the admin panel as a quote, and this is where the manufacturer can update the progress of the design once a deposit is taken. My Shed, from design to delivery, we have you covered. Man, it's awesome. I'm sitting here thinking back to so many conversations we've had, especially like when you think about sales, e-commerce, online sales. Online sales is like this buzzword in the shed industry that's just been it's just been going on for a long time, 2 years now, 3 years. COVID really brought us up to speed on that, and post COVID, when you think about the way customers want to shop, I think sometimes we get in our own head about the way we want to sell versus trying to sell the way the customer wants to shop. And I can't source this right now, but I remember reading an article that said like 87% of customers post-COVID are changing the way they shop. And something that really territorial or regionally that really keeps me in mind, I think it was Jeff Huxman, you've met Jeff, and he said, I went to buy a car and I went to a city 30 minutes, 45 minutes away, but it's a city that's not on my normal route for any reason. And I understand that. I mean, there are car dealerships that are close to me that I just don't drive by all the time. So I'm kind of a creature of my, of habit, and I go by these same places. That's maybe where I'm going to go buy or shop from. But there's people within an hour of you that don't even know that you exist, that you're selling sheds. And it's just, by mapping, or if you get a shed sold in that area, you drop a pin. Next thing you know, you're starting to reach their neighbors, and it's just all of it's starting to feed. And I'm loving it. I'm telling you, I'm a student right now, man, and I love it. I really do.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up, Shane, because here's the to me, this is one of the most exciting parts. So even when this got, I mean, I've been consulting and marketing and advertising for 24 years of my life. And when this got brought to me, I lit up. I instantly jumped on board with this company because I just saw a massive home run. And the reason I saw a massive home run, I mean, to me, and working with small, medium, large size businesses for the past 24 years in marketing and advertising, I know that there's a lot of obstacles for businesses to face when they're trying to put together a successful marketing and advertising campaign. And it's not always going to work out. And I'm sure everybody listening who's a business owner out there, who's tried out a marketing company, tried out an advertising company, tried out an SEO company, you probably have went through several through your career, and a lot of them didn't work. Some of them did, some of them didn't. And one of the things that excited me about this the most is that the results are really in our clients' hands. If you bring on and take on this tool and you never use it and you never drop a pin, there's literally no way for you to get a result if that's what you did. But on the opposite, if you go to town between you and your team and you start dropping these pins every time you do an estimate that you're at a home, every time you do a delivery and drop off a shed for somebody, every time you build a shed for somebody, and you're out in the field and you're at their homes, you just simply drop a pin. And again, I'll show you how to drop a pin. It takes less than 25 seconds. I always joke with my clients. I'm like, if you and your team can literally take a picture on a cell phone and, go ahead and shoot a text message, you can do that. And with a lot of my clients in the shed space, they just have their delivery guys doing it. That's how they're getting the job done. But there's multiple ways to do it. As long as the picture is being taken out in the field at the home of the customer, you can even drop these pins from your office or really any location. That's kind of the exciting part here too. But it's just exciting to me because this was the first time in my career that I've ever witnessed something that was this powerful to allow a business to literally tap into the largest volume of customers in their market, and to do it so quickly. I mean, again, in a 2-3 month time frame to be able to tap into this type of traffic, to me is kind of crazy. And again, I'll show you the results of this in the industry in a minute, but it just still blows my mind away with what we're doing for our clients. But in any case,
hello, Shed Builder. This is the Shed Geek, here to tell you about one of the coolest things I've seen, the first of its kind, the Joey Pivotlet. I have visited hundreds of shed manufacturing shops across the country, and one of the first things shop owners and shed builders mention is the amount of fatigue that is placed on the everyday builder. If you own a shed shop, you know that your builder is an asset to your future. With the Joey Lift, you'll see more production, and your builder will appreciate you investing in their well-being by replacing the thousands of steps they have to take up and down a ladder all day. The Joey Lift is perfect for shed builders, roofers, painters, and laborers working to add that special layer of detail on your shed. It's so easy, even a geek can drive it. Absolutely. I think it's cool. I really do. I think it's cool. Let's keep going. Let's dig into it further.
Yep. So here's the cool part. So again, hopefully everybody did their search and you saw, like, if you did a search in your city for a shed contractor and then you saw that you showed or didn't show, and then regardless of that result, because you're super close, if you started to do a search in exterior cities, you can search all your exterior cities. You're most likely not going to show in most, if not all of those searches. But just know in a short period of time, 2-3 months, if you're dropping pins, you could be showing in all of those surrounding cities, just like my clients are here. It's just a matter of dropping these pins and getting that job done, and we can get creative and help you get that job done as well too. But either way, when you're now dropping all these pins in your market, making yourself more relevant than your competitors, because your competitors don't even know they can do this. And at the end of the day, you start showing up in all these searches on the front page and the map section of Google, and people start clicking through to check you out to get a bid and potentially do business with you. What's going to happen, this is kind of the exciting part here. So this is my client, Hinton Buildings. And I want to show you two experiences because we're about to upgrade all of our customers really soon. So that's the cool part too. We're constantly innovating over here and pushing the boundaries to keep increasing the conversions for our customers. And so with Hinton Buildings, this is the experience of what's happening today. And I'm going to show you the experience of where we're going in just a moment. But in any case, the exciting part here is this. When somebody does a search for sheds in your market, and then all of a sudden you're showing up in that map section because you're the one dropping the pins, you're making yourself more relevant, and they click through, they're going to land on your website, but they're specifically going to land on a map of their actual neighborhood where they live. This is what's called hyper-local marketing. And this is what gets me the most excited because dropping the pins, tapping into all this traffic of people who want what you have to offer, that's huge. But this is the part that excites me the most because this is where it transfers somebody who has intent and need for what you offer to a word of mouth customer. And everybody listening knows how good a word of mouth customer is. We all love them. They're the easiest to do business with. So when a customer needs a shed, they do a search, you show up, they click through, they land on a map of their neighborhood. They can literally click and see the work that you've done in their neighborhood. They can see reviews, things of that nature. All through. Let me blow this up a little bit bigger, actually. There we go. Actually, I think my screen's a little. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a little difficult to see the map here, but in any case, they're literally going to be able to see pictures, videos, video testimonials that you got out in the field at people's houses of what you did for them there. You can put a little description here as well, too, with what they're doing here. If we go down here to the bottom, you're going to be able to see they all show up down here as well, too. So this is the old experience. I'm going to show you guys the new experience in just a moment. But again, you can see reviews of your neighbors, pictures of the sheds, things of that nature, everything that's being done out there are all going to be displayed right here. Now I'm going to show you right here real quick, just so you can see the new experience. This isn't specific to the shed industry. It's with one of my other clients, Stash Luck. But it's just to give you an example of what it's going to look like for all of our clients in the shed industry, anybody coming up in the coming weeks. So we built out this new experience just to streamline it. So instead of having this experience where you have to go through somebody's whole web page in order to have the full experience, we wanted to just put it all above the fold on somebody's website, so that somebody as a potential customer doesn't have to scroll up and down to see everything. They can literally get the whole experience right in front of their eyeballs. So when you look at this again, if I'm a customer, I'm literally seeing a map of all the actual customers you worked with in my neighborhood. I'm going to see reviews. All these ones with little stars are reviews. You can see this one with a little Google G. It's going to show all your Google reviews as well too, which is really exciting. And it pretty much sells people for you, because at the end of the day, if I'm a consumer and I'm looking to buy a shed for my yard, and I do a search, and I see you pop up, I think you're one of the top 3 companies to do business with. I click through, and then all of a sudden I see my neighbors that are doing business with you. I'm sold. Even though Bob, Sandy, and John didn't walk over and tell me to use you, I can literally see here with my eyes who you did business with, and I can even walk outside of my house and just peek in the backyard of my neighbors and probably see the structure there as well too. So this is one of the things that gets me the most exciting, because this is disruptive when you can flip somebody from just having a need for what you offer to pretty much being sold. It just not only sends all this new traffic to you, but it increases your conversions of people who are doing business with you. And this is even a tool that your salespeople can use. If somebody walks in, if you have a showroom and they walk into your showroom, or you're over the phone having a discussion, however that conversation might be going, think about this for your salespeople. If your salespeople could, pull out a tablet or the laptop or whatever it might be that they're using and show them this map and actually show them their neighbors for that person they're talking with who are already doing business with you, how powerful that would be as well too. So there's just all these different pieces, but I'm sure for everybody out there listening, you can see how disruptive this would be. And I always just compare it to this. I mean, I don't know if everybody remembers the yellow pages, Shannon. I'm sure you remember that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I always just mention it like this. I mean, if a customer was looking to get a new shed, and at the end of the day, you gave them 2 options. You say, hey, Mr. Customer, you can get this big yellow book and flip your finger through there and randomly pick a shed company in your market, or you can go on to Google, do a search, and find the shed company in your market that has the most reviews. Which option do you want to choose? We all know they're going to go on Google and do that search there, but the same thing's happening, but even larger with reviews. So now if we do the same comparison, we say, hey, if you want to go with the person on Google with most reviews, Or if I can give you another person in your market with the same amount of reviews, but we can look inside those reviews in your neighborhood on a map, and you can see which one of your neighbors gave reviews to that company. Which one do you want to go with now? So it's just a huge separation point, disruption in the market, in the shed industry space, for the businesses that, take action, start dropping pins to not only start generating all this traffic, but really have higher conversions than they've ever seen in their space. So just super exciting with everything and the potential opportunities here for them.
ShedHub.com is the shed industry's very first two-sided marketplace that allows you, the shed seller, to list your inventory on a site specifically designed for selling sheds. ShedHub establishes more qualified sales leads and helps your customers find you with a simple online search. Shoppers searching where to buy sheds and sheds near me have grown by 200% in the last 2 years. This means even if the buyer wants to visit a sales lot to purchase a shed, their shed buying journey started with a simple Google search. They can actually check out and purchase the shed straight from ShedHub if they prefer to shop online. ShedHub does not charge any commission for sheds you sell. We simply charge the monthly subscription. Your sales commission is still yours to keep. Sheds listed on ShedHub will have first page search results in 91% of cities, or where to buy sheds is searched. For special pricing only available through Shed Geek, simply go to geek.shedhub.com to see the promo codes that allow you to save as much as 50% off the first 12 months of your subscription, and over 75% for companies with multiple sales locations. Sell more sheds using shedhub.com.
And those reviews, can be broke down even more. That's all the more reason to talk about customer service in our particular industry. From the first point of contact of the salesperson to, the building process and managing that building process, being able to manage your lead times, having the tools available to be able to do that. And then, your delivery. Your delivery is the last point of contact, and our shed haulers are our heroes in many ways. And like you said, they're taking pictures, dropping pins, being able to do all these things, but they're the last point of contact typically on a cash sale. They are, and on even on a rent-to-own sale or a finance sale, they're leaving sort of the lasting impression, and what they do to earn that review and encourage that review would matter even that much more.
100%, man. And I'll show your audience as well too how to drop these pins. So there's two ways that you can do this job. It's super simple. So the first is, actually, let me kind of make this a little bigger here for you, is we have a dashboard. So anybody who's one of our clients can log into their dashboard. Again, it doesn't matter where you're physically at. You could be at home, you could be on vacation, you could be at your office. And as long as you got internet access, you log in, you're going to have insights, so you can see transparency every single day of what's going on with all the action of what you're doing and dropping pins. Your delivery guys or techs or whoever's dropping these pins, you can track all of that down to the individual person who's doing this job for you. You can gamify it. It's a lot of really cool things you can do. But the first way you can drop these pins is through what's called site proofs. So it's just coming in, logging into your dashboard, clicking this new button, and literally dragging and dropping a photo or video right in here. You'd write a little brief description, and it's going to literally drop that pin. So pretty much any device, as long as it's digital, whether it's a camera, it's a cell phone, it's a tablet, for years now, have been locking in the GPS metadata of where you were physically standing when you take that picture. So 9 out of 10 times, that's all you're going to do. You're going to drag and drop that picture there. As long as you took the picture while you were out in the field, it's going to go ahead and drop that pin at the location. If for some reason it doesn't have that data, you can enter in the address to drop it there. It's just not going to display the address visually for privacy reasons, but you can drop the pin that way. So a lot of companies that I work with already, they already have setups and systems where they're already collecting pictures out in the field. They were already doing this job before working with us. So they don't even really have to change anything because they already have all these pictures being taken. There's already somebody at the central home office who's getting all these pictures in the cloud or in a file or by email or by text. And essentially they're just have somebody at the office who's sitting here one by one, plugging all these photos in here and dropping all these pins. And the cool part about it is, even if you're just only dropping literally as little as 2 pins a day, the results I'm going to show you today are based off of just 2 pin drops a day. If you're dropping just 2 pins a day on average, the results are pretty crazy. If you're dropping more, you'll just get bigger results with what you're doing. The other way to be able to drop pins here, and I'll show you here, just go here for you. There we go. Just make this a little bigger here for you. So, so when you're out in the field, whether again it's a delivery guy, it could be any of your staff, it could be a personal phone, cell phone, it could be a business cell phone. Either way, it can tap into the account for the business. They'll just pull out their cell phone and they'll open up the RealWork Labs app, and while they're out there in the field, and they're just going to simply type in a little description here. And you can keep it simple. We'll even provide a list of keyword descriptions per all the different type of jobs that you guys do. So whether it's, everybody does different things. It could be storage sheds, it could be garages or cabin. I mean, there's all different things I know that a lot of these companies do. Either way, you'll just type in that little description in there. Keep it simple. And then you're going to click on the little camera button here. You can do a picture or a video of that once you get the description in here. And you can say hi to my dog Teddy here. He's waking up. He's the hardest worker of us all over here. You're going to see it spinning. And as you see it spinning, it's sending that data over to Google. So it's going to account for that pin drop with Google. And then it's also going to send that data over to your website. So just like I was showing you that widget on the website, we'll install that for you. We take care of that for our clients. It automates that whole piece there. So there's nothing else that needs to be done. You can see how easy that is. You dropped a pin, took less than 25 seconds. And the impact of this is massive though, because the thought is this. Think about, and I don't know in the shed industry if this is something that's predominantly done, because you're almost leaving a sign there once you get this shed up. So you don't really need to leave a sign up. But a lot of the other home service businesses, it's a common practice when they get done with the roof or doing a job or windows or whatever it might be for a customer, they'll stick a sign physically in the front yard until the customer tears it down, a couple days after they get done with the job. And the way I like to describe this for my clients, think about it this way, is that every time you drop a pin, it's like you're literally physically putting this sign in front of somebody's yard that gets to promote your business, but it's like they can never take it down. That's kind of the cool part here.
Well, and not only that, you're seeing in that region, you might be getting 100,000 eyeballs on it versus the 2,000 that drive by and see that sign every day. It's just it reaches such a bigger audience.
100%. And the other thing too, to kind of piggyback off what you mentioned there. So if you just think there's all these virtual signs, so think about it as a business owner, for all the business owners here, if you think of all the years you've been in business, every single shed you ever sold, think about if you had a physical sign promoting your business in front of every single buddy's yard that would send them to your website, send them to call you, how much business that would generate, just that practice alone. And the other cool part is you see the send survey here. So after you drop a pin, you don't have to, but you can also automate and collect that review on Google. And we'll go back here real quick. Let me just pull here, kind of zoomed ahead a little bit here. There we go. So if you just click that, you can enter somebody's name, their phone number, their email, send an automated request for a review. And here's kind of a big tip for everybody as well too. Software like you're seeing here to gather reviews, there's a ton of different ones and they're all pretty close to the same, including ours. There's just one big difference with ours that really is a huge piece for our customers. Almost every review software out there, you can automate a text, you can automate an email, send a request for a review. Obviously, Google's the most important place to do that job at. But at the end of the day, sometimes there's filters to even filter out bad reviews. But at the end of the day, the biggest ways to get a lot of reviews is really two ingredients. One, accountability. So it's just asking for that review when you're face to face. That's going to be the easiest and best way to get that review. But for everybody out there, I'm sure there's some frustration because we've all asked for reviews and people told us they'd give us reviews and then they didn't give us reviews, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. So the big part about that though is they're missing one big ingredient. And when you add this additional ingredient into this, you throw gas on the fire with reviews. And our clients tear it up when they get reviews in practicing this. So when a customer says, yes, I'd like to give you that review, it's really just a matter of saying, well, thanks, Miss Jones. Really appreciate the review. Clicking one button on your phone, sending that review link to the customer, but then also acknowledging it. Hey, Miss Jones, I just sent you the link for that review. Can you just pull open your phone real quick for me? It takes 2 seconds. I just want to show you it. So they'll pull out their phone, they'll click the link, and then you just say, hey, Miss Jones, This is where you're going to leave that review. Don't worry about making it too complicated. You can just simply share your experience with us, and we appreciate it more than you could ever know. It helps us out so much. And you don't even need to make it weird and awkward and wait till they give you that review. You can head out of the house at that point. You led the horse to the water, it will drink. It just makes it simple for people, because otherwise, if you don't do that step, what's happening is people want to give you reviews. You did a great job. You built this awesome structure at their house, or maybe a playground or the shed, whatever that might be. So they're happy, but they get distracted and they get busy. And then that's the last thing on their totem list. And reviews are such an important part to just attract, validate the business, create authenticity, as well as trust with your client base and community.
I mean, it's very much true whenever I think of my own process in terms of surveys. I don't mind doing surveys, and as long as the interface is really easy. If I get on here and it starts jumping pages, and then all of a sudden I don't know where I'm at, like, admittedly, within like 2 seconds, I'm like, okay, I'll just close this tab out and move on. Whereas if it's simple and they feel confident, a lot of times in specifically the shed industry, we're such a conservative industry that, like, there's some amazing technologically minded people here, not me, but I learn from them, grow from them, and watch them. And really, it's just about listening to them and hearing them and paying attention, and then performing the same way. I mean, success leaves clues, right? So all you have to do is just
100%.
just sort of watch. And I have found that in most cases, if it's user friendly, if it's really easy, I have absolutely no problem doing that. And obviously, you don't want it to take just a big share of your time, depending on how much you're in a hurry. You might appreciate the business, but those reviews really matter. Not only giving those, but receiving those. And that's a major tool for Google, right? I mean, that's a big part of SEO, is having reviews, and you really want authenticity, don't you?
100%.
You want something good. If you've got 100% 5-star reviews on everything, in some ways, some people who are shoppers will say, "Nah, nobody's perfect. There's got to at least be because we're all going to mess up somewhere at some point." Yeah, I don't know. I have definitely started upping my participation in reviews and surveys, especially as those ask me in the industry. Hey, especially when they send you a link, it's even that much more simple, because I'm probably going to click the link and do it versus going home and having to go to their website and do it.
100%. Yeah, it's just such a huge part. And that's, again, one of the things that blew me away about this, because this is disruptive in a point where nobody's doing this, from the standpoint where everybody's heard about reviews for a while. So many people use reviews in their everyday life. They do a search for a hotel, they filter by reviews. They do a search for where they're going to eat at, they filter by reviews. They do a search for the shed they want to buy, they're looking at reviews. So it's a part of all of our lives. That it's a convenience. It just makes our life easy to filter by reviews, see who the top reviewed people are in our market for anything we really want. And we can make a quick, fast decision, and 9 out of 10 times typically have a good result. But on the opposite end of that, because this has been going on so long, it's just typical. Some companies start to game the system. They do fake reviews and all these different things. And then consumers start realizing, in some cases, they're being deceived by bad players in the marketplace who are looking like they're a good player, but they're really not. So like Shannon brought up, that authenticity part is such a huge part of this game. And that's a huge piece that this brings to the table, because now we're entering a new piece of data to consumers. Before, all they had to go by was randomly picking a business in a yellow pages. And that didn't give them that much data. So a lot of people made mistakes and hired the wrong people. And then came along reviews. And then again, it made the search much easier and empowered consumers to filter by reviews, have a really great experience the majority of the time. And then we started getting to the tail end of reviews now. And so again, there's some bad players there. So it kind of tapered down a little bit because of that piece. But now we're moving into, again, what's called hyper local marketing. And this is something as a company we're bringing to the market space, and we're doing, and we're literally creating this whole new web experience in the home service-based industry for the shed companies and all companies participating here, where consumers are now entering a brand new piece of data that they didn't have before to make a decision with, because before it was just how many reviews does somebody have. Now it's how many of my neighbors did business with this business. And if I can't find any of my neighbors that are doing business with you, I might not want to do business with you anymore. Because now, I mean, just think about it this way. If you're a consumer and you did a search for a shed company and one of the top 3 companies pulls up. And so you click through, and then you land on a map of your neighborhood, and you see even 1, 2, 3, 5 of your neighbors who are doing business with this person, reviewed them, they love them. And then you're like, you know what, I want to be a smart shopper here. So I know I really like this company and it looks great, but let me hit the back button and let me check out some of their competitors just to make sure I'm making a right choice with going with this. And then they hit the back button, they start looking through the competitors, and all the competitors are doing is they're landing that traffic on their homepage and putting the customer to work. So the customer has to start digging all around the website, and no matter how much they dig around these competitors' websites, they're not going to discover what neighbors of theirs are doing business with these companies. So 9 out of 10 times, these people are going to hit the back button. They're going to go back to you because you created this new experience that they aren't able to get anywhere else. So just like this is great.
Considering most shed companies will go out for 30, 50 miles or plus free delivery. They might service 100 to 50. I've heard of 350. Sometimes free, sometimes they'll start to charge beyond that. But I mean, they're covering a large region in a huge circle and a huge circumference from their shop, and some have multiple locations where they're building from, and then those several building locations actually service multiple sales lots. So I mean, like, there's just I feel like the beast feeds itself at some point whenever you start to see the business that's being done in those particular regions. I love it. And you've given away so many freebies here today, just in terms of information, stuff that people can go and do. But there's reasons to call, RealWorks beyond that. And do you want to hit on that or share on that a little?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just share one last thing with you guys, just some results from our client Hinton Buildings. And I'll just show you, he has 3 locations with us. He's crushing it at all of them. But I'll just give you a little sneak peek behind his curtains here. So this is his done location here. And if we look at this here, let me make sure we got a year worth of results here for you guys. Yep, it's clicked on year here for you. So again, I'm putting a year worth of results, but he hasn't been with us a year. We just started this location on, let's see here, October 19th. So again, it's been just short of 2 months that we've been working with him here. But here's the big part here with this. So I'm just going to pull this up here. Again, we're focused on traffic in the map section. So again, that's where you dropping all these pins, you're impacting the map section. When I look at these results, it blows me away, partially because I'm a marketing guy. So I know this like the back of my hand, but this should really blow away everybody, because think about it this way. Before the schema update, the only traffic at all that you could get in the map section of Google was just a little bit of traffic when people are not only in your city, not your whole city, but just super close physically to your office. So if they're a block or 2 or a mile or so away from your business, there was a good chance you'll show up in that map section and get that traffic. But you're not showing up for all the searches everywhere within your city, let alone all the searches in the surrounding cities. So there was just no way to really see a boost in your map section traffic unless you physically opened up a bunch of office locations in your market. That was the only way prior to schema, prior to dropping pins. But you can see here, this location has been open just for 2 months. We got 153% increase in traffic in the map section of Google. Got them in front of 57,000 people total there for this one specific location. When we look over here, this is the Kinston location. This location's been with us for roughly about a half a year. So a little bit longer time span with what we're looking at here. And we'll just, again, zoom down here with the year with results here. And again, we'll kind of focus in on the map section traffic here. You can see, again, 100% increase there. So again, over time, you'll start seeing that increase taper off, obviously, the longer a location's with, because when you first start dropping pins, there's going to be this massive spike of traffic. And again, it doesn't happen. This isn't like ads where you turn this on today and today all of a sudden you see this massive spike. Again, on average, it does take our clients typically about 2-3 months, as long as they're consistently dropping those pins 2 a day. But once it happens, you can start seeing it light up. And the other one's a great example, because again, they've been with us just on that 2-month mark, and they're showing up in all these searches like we did earlier. But again, you can see here, 47, almost 50,000 people they got in front of here. And this last location for Princeton, I'll even break down call volume here for you guys as well too, because that's traffic's great. Obviously, getting that exposure, getting in front of all these people who are in your market in the areas you're dropping pins, who are searching for sheds, is awesome. But we all know phone calls is where the dollars are made. And that's where business gets conducted, where you can start serving more people in your community. So if we kind of go down here, again, we'll look at a year worth of results. And this client's been, as far as this location, just a little over a year altogether. So this is the longest standing location for us with Hinton Buildings. But we can see here, we got in front of roughly about 62,000 people in the map section, 28% increase there. And then if we go down here a little bit farther, we're going to see phone calls. So you can see right here, 1.1K phone calls this past year. So 1,100 phone calls of customers who are in their market looking for sheds. If we do the math there, it's close to 100 phone calls a month that this person is getting just off the fact that they're dropping pins. So they're thrilled. And the bigger part about this is when people are calling from the traffic that we're sending from the pins that are being dropped, these are not tire kickers. These are not people wasting your salespeople time, because these are people who have intent. They went on Google. They're literally living in the areas where you drop pins. So these are the areas that you want to take on business. They're searching for the type of sheds and services and products that you offer, because you're putting the descriptions in of what you're doing out there in the field. And that's what's generating the search results. And most importantly, they're seeing all their neighbors that are doing business with you. So they're not only got intent, but they're almost like word of mouth business. So my clients close the majority of this business for these phone calls. So they're super thrilled with the results with everything we're doing. And as a result of this, and it's just kind of the nature of this, we all together, and I'll kind of pull up this slide last year for you guys, two different things that just make a lot of sense for our clients. And I'll just kind of pull this up a little bit bigger here for you. And this will just kind of taper us off here today. Most of our clients are spending money, and I would imagine most of the businesses out there are spending money in some, if not all, of these categories. SEO services, review services, Google My Business page services, advertising costs, video costs. These are all areas, once this faucet's turned on, that you can cut some, if not all of these. So most of our clients typically see 2, 3, 4 months down the road that they can shave off 30, 40, sometimes 50% or more of a lot of their marketing spend, because this one solution is handling all these different areas for them. Average savings we see for a lot of our clients is $2,500 per month, some less, some more. It's pretty simple in getting setting up for us. Anybody who's out there who's listening, if this is something you're interested, the first thing I would just throw out for everybody who's listening, I'd be more than happy personally. Again, I've been consulting for 24 years. So if you're interested, I'd be more than happy to sit down, spend a half hour with you, do marketing, competitor research prior to even us sitting down in your area, so we can really talk about some custom information, show you behind your curtains, behind your competitors' curtains, and just show you how this can benefit you with everything that we're doing here at absolutely no cost. I'd be more than happy to have those conversations and just help guide anybody who is looking to grow and scale their business to the next level. If it is a good fit, though, it's pretty simple to help our clients get set up over here. We train and launch all of your clients as well, or all of your staff, to be able to leverage this and get success with what they're doing. And the last thing I'll just kind of leave you guys with is we do have a 98% success rate. So any and all of our clients that are working with us, who've been with us for 6 months or longer, they don't leave us. I mean, once this faucet's turned on, you don't want to turn it off. I mean, you saw some of the results we're doing within your industry today. Pretty sure for everybody listening, if you're getting an extra 100 word of mouth calls each month in each of your markets that you're serving, you're probably not going to want to turn that faucet off either. But that'll kind of tie us up for today. I hope everybody got a ton of value. And again, I'm here for you guys. So anybody can reach out. Anything I can do to serve you, help you out, help your business grow, and just even have that conversation. I'm open to talking to anybody here.
Man, that's great. And certainly thank Ryan for, being transparent with that information. Obviously, I've watched Shed Sales for a long time, and that dude is killing it. He's an awesome guy, just a family guy, just in general, good guy, but then also talking to him through his business sense and his adventures and things like that. He's killing it. And appreciate his transparency. And trust me, I'm confident he didn't give away all of his secret sauces. He's going to continue to be successful, but appreciate his transparency here with
100%.
Show that today. Also, wanted to just, I'm excited for him. We met, not to steal your thunder here, but I met him through Shed Hub and hoping to have him supposed to be joining this month as a client. We were getting some of the processes worked out together there, so it made some sense, but just some different integration. But And you know, that's the whole thing. Or you're trying to get organic SEO. You're trying to get, you know, the mapping side of things figured out. I mean, even people are doing paid ads. You're trying to optimize your website constantly. There's so many things, especially whenever you're trying to reach specifically the customer. You want them on your website. You want them calling. You want them seeing your inventory. And I just love it, man. I know me and you are going to continue to be friends, talk, and learn in this industry. I hope you get tons of calls. If they do want to call, if someone's listening today and says, I want to call and do a demo or I want to find out more about it, where would they go?
Yeah, so I'll just give them literally my direct number. So this is my direct cell phone. You can call, text, just reach out to me either way. It's 480-787-7575. Again, 480-787-7575. And you can just reach out, just let, obviously mention the podcast that you heard us on here. And I'll make sure to, again, take care of you. Two ways, obviously, we're going to, for any of the listeners out here, do a free consultation, 30 to 60 minute consultation. We'll sit down, we'll pull back all the curtains, we'll do all the data with our team here to get that all prepped for the call for you. And then if it is a good fit that you do want to partner with us, for any of the listeners, we're going to do an additional $100 discount per month off our software. $1,200 discount per year is what that comes out to for each and everybody out there, in addition to our running promotion. So that's something that each and every business owner on here can take advantage. Again, just mention the podcast when you reach out to me.
Man, that's awesome. George, love what you guys are doing. Love your energy. I just think you guys got a home run here. I think it's awesome. And I think there's a lot of folks in the shed industry that can benefit from that. Hope you get lots of calls, man. Wish you nothing but success in all your endeavors. And I'm sure we'll be talking soon, and wish you a Merry Christmas, man.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays, everybody out there. And again, just excited for everybody to ring in the new year and, get prepared for the biggest year coming up.
Perfect. Sounds great, man. George, it's a pleasure talking to you today. We'll be in touch soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shannon. You have a great day.
All right. You too.
Wow! Come on. Groove it on. I said, baby, I know you're on a roll. Sweet honey, let's take it